Yeah, this is day 17, shelter in place. Today is special because I have one of my good friends, a person that I've known for a long, long time. I want to say at least over 10 years. It's just like
Yep.
when I met Virus, that was on last week, I met Adam as well. And Adam, sir, welcome to the Twitter live stream that I'm doing every single day, brother. Please introduce yourselves. Do your
What's
thing
up?
with that
Yeah,
amazing
I'm Adam.
beard.
Yeah, I'm Adam. I'm a hacker. I like to break stuff. That's pretty much. I mean, what do you want me to say here?
You're the man.
Like, Marco, we're just talking, just you and me talking,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. It's we're catching up. You know, the last time I seen you was December of 2018. You were speaking at a conference, an internal conference at Intel, and it was awesome. So, for all the cool things you've done, start off with the Open CTF because that's to me
Okay.
what put you on the map and why so many people know you, and just explain that.
Yeah, so it was Virus's idea, and I just kind of tagged along to help out, make it happen. It was DEF CON 13 last year at the AP, and Virus is like, "Yo, CTF is awesome." We just called it CTF because there only really was one. So DEF CON CTF is awesome, but not everybody is good enough to be on one of those like teams that makes it, like the real, OGs. And so wouldn't it be cool if there was like a CTF for everyone else who didn't qualify? And we are like, yeah, that sounds good. It's like, let's do that. And so we came up with, at the time we called it amateur CTF because we were like, well, if you're, pro, you're going to be in real CTF, and if you're not, come hang out with us and hack on stuff with ACTF. And after a couple of years, someone like pointed out to us, like, you can't call this amateur CTF anymore. Like, this isn't easy, man. These are hard challenges. You can't. So we changed it to Open CTF, which is, more in the spirit. The idea is anyone can join in, anyone can play, and they're if if you're new, you're not going to score as many points, but you might learn more. And if you've been around the block, you might not learn as much, but you'll be top of the leaderboard. So that was kind of the idea. We just wanted to open it up to everybody, and now we got CTFs all over the place, so it's great.
Yeah, yeah. And how many years did you do that at DEF CON?
5 years,
Wow,
nine for
5.
nine tradition.
Wow. And
Five
then
years, then pass someone else.
did you pass it off or what did it end? Because I don't
No, we,
know.
we passed it off.
Okay,
It's
so
it changed hands a couple times.
is it now in B sides
Um,
Las Vegas? Because I know there's a CTF there.
no, that's another one. Like I said, they're all over the place
Yeah,
now, which is
yeah,
it's good.
definitely,
That's not the
definitely.
point, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you started a trend with that, right? There was only like one big CTF, which at the time Kishoto was running it when you started that, and that room I remember used to be packed, and
Yep.
it took a life of its own. So that's pretty cool, man. I'm You were a trendsetter back then, and with that beard and that hair, man, you're a trendsetter now. But so the last time we met up, you was doing this amazing project. Are you still doing it? Please explain to the viewers the project.
All right. Yeah. So it's Killer Bees, and it's a fuzzer. Uh, and like everyone's thinking, like, why would you write another fuzzer? We got tons of them out there, right? And the answer was we want one that works on Windows, Linux, Mac, you know, um, BSD, all the
Yeah.
different platforms,
Yep.
and it needs to be able to handle stuff that only has binary available, no source. And that was pretty much it. And we found out that like none of them really worked very well out of the box. And so we're like, well, we don't really want to write our own fuzzer. What we want to do is we want to just take the fuzzers that are out there and make them work together.
Hmm.
So to be able to use WinAFL on Windows and have that same code base compile on Linux and Mac so that you're not dealing with like WinAFL for Windows and then other AFL for
Hmm.
other things. Um, and we wanted to have like Redamza in there for doing the mutation because they got a great mutation engine. And maybe we went instrument instead of like the source that AFL uses. If you don't have source code, WinAFL uses Dynamo Rio to do the dynamic instrumentation, trace code, figure out what was code hit and what wasn't. Um, and maybe we want to swap that out for Pin, Intel's Pin, basically the same thing as Dynamo Rio, but by Intel. Um, or maybe we want to use something else like IPT, like hardware tracing to trace code. We're going to be able to just like switch and swap like however we want. And we looked around, we like looked at all the different buzzers out there, and we're like, man, someone's probably done this before. It's like a pretty obvious idea, right?
Hmm.
So we looked around and we're like, man, everyone's kind of got like one little piece in this project, and then this project's got this one thing that's super awesome, and then over here you got something else, and like it was all there, but it wasn't all together, and so we wanted to bring it all together and have just one code base where you can just plug in a module that does the Redamza mutator, the Hong fuzz mutator, whatever, and then we didn't want to just fuzz standard in and files. I'm gonna be able to fuzz network and ioctls and like all the good stuff. There's more than one way to get data into a program,
Hmm.
and so we just have a little module that will get data from your fuzzer to your program, and whatever means that to be different for different programs. And so we kind of had all these ideas together, and Cluster Fuzz was like OSS Fuzz by Google was about
Yeah.
the closest we could find, but Cluster Fuzz wasn't open source. That was
Hmm.
like the main fuzzing engine. It was closed source when we started this a few years ago. It's open source now, so that's cool. But for a while, it was closed source. And the other thing is, it only works when you have source code.
Yeah.
So if you're just like, I want to find a bug in some piece of software that I bought and I rely on, you can't with OSS fuzz because open source software fuzzing, right? So it makes sense.
Hmm.
It's not really what we're about. So we ended up like just writing enough to glue other things together. And that kind of spiraled out of control. And then we started like, oh man, this AFL code is like a 7,000 line C code with like, duplicated code in multiple parts of the file and stuff like this. And we're like, man, we need to refactor this. I can't deal with this. So we just, swapped it around a little bit, made it a little more module, reused some of the things, stuff like that. And then, after a while, we're like, man, we kind of did write our own fuzzer. But the important thing is like we took all the good ideas that other people already had,
Hmm.
and time we were able to just lift the code straight up because it's open source and the licenses were compatible. And so we just wholesale ripped it off because that's the point of open source, and kind of hacked it all together and put their own fuzzer, which I haven't had much time to spend on lately. I've been really busy with other stuff, so hope to
Uh,
get back to it in the next few months. But things are busy now. Things are just always busy. You know how it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you discuss some of the projects or cool things you have been doing? I know, you know, offline. I've been hearing some of the cool stuff you've been doing, and if you could share, I understand. If you can't, I understand as well. But uh, what kind of things have you been working on lately?
Well, a lot of it's work stuff,
Yeah,
so
I know
we
how
don't
that
we don't
is.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just client work. Client knows about it. No one else knows, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just the way of business.
Of course.
Um, so since well, like a few years ago, I moved here to Urbana, Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
uh, with a couple fellow hackers, and we were just kind of got to set up shop in town and just have our own little hacker neighborhood. So that's the thing. Um, we even have a clever name, Hacks Urbana. So
Ooh.
yeah,
How's that going? I know
HAX.
CP. I know CP told me he moved over there and stuff like that for a while.
Yeah, yeah. It's not really what we expected,
Yeah.
but it's gone all right. Like we like it here. People come and go. That's normal. That's
What
life.
made you decide to go there?
Um, we voted.
Okay. and you just pick
So we
that
were like,
spot.
well, if a lot of us can work from home
Mm-hmm.
and we want to be neighbors so that we can have this awesome conference experience all the time and just be like, yo, I'm hacking on this. You want to come over and do it? Like I'm doing some woodworking. I'm making a bench, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and just have people like physically near each other, which of course now is a thing that wouldn't help anyway with the whole pandemic. But um, in
Yeah.
normal life,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it need to be near each other, so you can just like stop by, like see what's going on, have dinner, whatever. And so, but where do you have this if every like, I mean, it could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Like if you're working from home, like it doesn't really matter, right?
Absolutely.
And so um, we were like, all right, well, how do we pick a place? And we're like, how about if we just come up with the requirements first and figure out what we actually want, and we pick a bunch of places. Just anyone can nominate any place they want, and whatever one meets the criteria the best, we go with that. So we had like I don't know, like 8 or 9 different places that we come up with. Austin was in there, Missoula, Montana was in there, Raleigh,
Mm.
Portland, kind of like all over the place. Anyone thought that a town made a good would be a good place to live, put it on the list, and we'll vote on it. And we got like climate graphs to see how hot and cold it got, and temperatures, and tax information, so you know what your taxes are dealing with. We tried to get some
That's
like
important.
information about like other smart people that are hanging out there. Urbana's a university town, so
Mm-hmm.
um, it's the university that made LLVM, Clang, all that stuff. So we're like, okay, there's gonna be some smart people just hanging around in town. That's cool. Low cost of living, good public transit. We had a whole list,
Yeah.
and then we just do all this research to find out what's the deal in all these cities, and then we'd go over it as a group, and we vote to like eliminate things, and that was a lot easier to agree on than voting what we wanted.
Hmm.
Um, the pirate voting, right? Like everybody
Yeah.
votes for their
Yeah.
own. You never get anywhere, so it's like, all right, let's vote for the thing you. And so we just kept eliminating him, knocking him off the list. And then we came out here and like checked it out like in person because you're not
Yeah.
gonna pick up and move, checking it out first. At least we weren't.
Yeah.
And so we ended up moving out here, and it just it's not perfect. Like it's got high taxes, but it met most of the requirements, and it's worked out pretty well.
Nice. Nice. I mean, it's that's the way to do it. When you're gonna start a community, you do it just like that instead of just picking up and going. I'm in Silicon Valley, and the taxes are high, and the rent is through the roof. Right?
Yeah.
It is. It's nowhere. For me, everybody's like, "Oh, it's so expensive." I'm like, to be honest, it's not expensive. The only thing I feel that's expensive is the rent. Right? A one bedroom. I used to live in a one bedroom for $3,000. That's ridiculous, right?
Yep.
So and that is just the norm from San Francisco all the way to San Jose. Those 50 miles. Yeah, that's the price for a one bedroom, and it's
Yep.
ridiculous. But you know, you got to do what you got to do, and that community, what you've built, and I've spoken to CP a few times, and CP, for the people that don't know, is another person that was down with OpenCTF, as well as just the DC 949 crew. And trust me, you've seen DC 949. They have the orange camo pants, which I think everyone has seen. So, yeah, it's one of those things where you know you just got to do your thing. You build that community, you start up, and that's kind of what I we kind of did here at the Hackers Mansion. We call it, right. I was paying $3,000, and it was ridiculous for a one bedroom, and I was in a shitty complex. And my friend was like, "Look, we could all come together and get a massive house and choose to like share this space, and we don't have to see each other if we don't want to." Right? Because it's so big. And that's what it is. We have 8 bedrooms in here. We have an outside, we have a wine area, a wine room, a yard that's pretty big. It has a pond with fish in it. So and I was paying less. Just to let you know, I was paying less.
Right.
I'm paying less now than the $3,000, so I'm pretty happy about that. And it's something that you gotta put your heads together, come up with a plan, an idea of what is the ideal space, and then and go and do it. And I think earlier on Friday, I walked through my space, and you could go and see Friday's post where I didn't have anyone on. I just walked through my space and went through each setup that I have, these sections in my space that I use for certain things just to get to that level to perform at a high level. And that's the way I look at it. We're mental athletes, right? And how do you get there? People, sports players, they read or they warm up. For me, I there are certain things that I do that I need to do before I get into that zone to go and execute a specific task. And that's just the way I roll with it, right? So I do have a question. Since you're over there, are you guys like, is it lockdown over there as well? Are you guys on lockdown as
Uh,
well?
More or less. Like
Yeah.
we still go out for like groceries and things like that,
Yeah.
but we're pretty much not leaving the house for like, I mean, yeah, we're pretty much in lockdown.
Yeah. So
Like, I went to the hardware store. Like I went to the hardware store the other day to get some stuff for the raised garden bed, but
mhm.
like other than getting supplies for projects around the house or whatever, yeah, we're pretty
Yeah.
much locked
So
down.
what are you doing to stay in the zone and to motivate yourself during this time? I always ask everyone.
Um, so I'm really passionate about what I do,
Mhm.
like whether it's a job or some project that I'm working on for myself
Yeah.
or with friends. And so when I'm at work, I have kind of a tendency to just uh, not stop working and just keep going and be like, oh man, but like I can get a little bit more done if I just
Knock this
worked
thing
another hour.
out.
Yeah. And so a few years ago, I was like, okay, I'm not going to work weekends just at all. And I've stuck to that, and that's helped me a lot, keep my sanity. So not overworking too much.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like 50 hours a week instead of 60 plus,
Do
like
you do you
a little
keep
bit
that
different.
do you keep that same schedule now that shelters in place?
More or less. I mean, I work from home to begin with, so it's not that much different for me.
Mhm.
Like, you know, um, get up, boot up, uh,
Yeah, yeah, it's the
get on the
same thing.
VPN, chill. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the same thing for me Monday through Fridays, but like Saturdays and Sundays, I usually go out, enjoy. I go out to a restaurant or a wine bar or something like that, just to switch it up. And now since everything is closed except supermarkets, I'm here, and I have refocused on things that I want to accomplish, and one of the big things that I've said, and really my roommate was like, this is the time to take your skill to another level, like 3x your skill, because you have the time. There's no excuses. So you have to lock in, you have to do your thing. And I think for me, I took that as not only a challenge, but okay, let's see if this is going to happen, because right now I think it was yesterday, they've said that lockdown shelter in place is going to stay until April 30th. So, that's a month from now. I there's a
at
lot of
least.
hours that you can beast up in 1 month. And later on this week, I'm gonna have my mentee on, and he's 17 years old. He's staying with me for 3 weeks, and it is nonstop things I'm throwing at him, like just going at. I set a schedule for him to accomplish certain things, and he's really knocking it out without even complaining. Right, 17-year-old wants to game all day, right? And now that
Nice.
I'm throwing tasks, it's I tell him it's cause and effect. You want a game, you got to do this. right? And it's not just going through the motions, it's actually learning and having fun with it, and doing different tasks. Not only is he programming, he's reading, he's journaling, all of these things. He's growing into his own, right? And usually with this mentee, his mom wakes him up and everything like that, and he's going through his day. He's not self-sufficient. So with me, I'm like, no, I'm not babying you. You're gonna do your own thing. Like, I'm not gonna wake you up. You're gonna do what you need to do, and there's not gonna be a person behind you saying you should do it, right? And that's what that for me. This is that time. Hey, you have time. You're gonna take it to the next level. But as I'm doing for him, I'm doing for myself. I'm very self aware of the things that I need to do, and I'm taking it to that next level as well. Are you working on
Nice.
any other projects or any skills that you're working on? Obviously, forget about work, but just skills in general.
Yeah. So, been working on like projects around the house for like the last 4 years since we moved in. So, like, it's just nonstop. And we're getting things set up now. In terms of like technical skills, most of the time that I spend working, like leveling up my game there is at work. I run the practice, so I just bring in work that's interesting
Mm-hmm.
as best I can, and then you know level up and get it done. But like on the weekends and evenings and stuff, when I'm not on a podcast on YouTube, um, I'm like we built a raised garden bed and are planting the garden. So we'll have like 64 square feet of vegetables. Um, Running Ethernet cables through the walls, running power to different rooms, building out the server room. Got a whole bunch of IT projects doing
Nice,
like continuous integration, continuous development stuff. Like we have all that set up in the house.
nice. Uh,
So
Is Atlas still working with you?
yeah,
Man, when you
yep,
speak to him, I would love to have him on as well. He was my first mentor when it comes to like hacking. Like
nice.
back in, I want to see DEF CON 10, 11, something like that. I'm not too sure. I can't recall right now, but like
He's been
real,
around for.
like real hacking, like not like your books and hey, you should read it. No, he was just like, this is exactly what you need to do and follow this. And I think the biggest compliment I've ever gotten was from Atlas, from someone in the industry. He was like, I didn't expect you to take it where you took it. Like, usually people just come in and they do their thing, and I wasn't, expecting it. And it wasn't from a bad place. He was just like, I didn't expect you to, like, continue on learning, continue on progressing and moving forward and trying to push the envelope. And I thought that was so awesome from him. And I definitely I try to reach out to him at least once or twice a year just to touch base with him and see how he's doing. And I know the last time I spoke to him, he was kind of telling me some of the things that he's doing, and just doing. I know he was doing BD work and all the
Yep.
cool stuff he was telling me about. So I miss him dearly. That's my brother from another mother. I one of the things I love about this community. Oh, Dre, what's up? Another brother from another mother. One of the things I love about this community is that I feel I've met so many people that are lifelong friends, right? I've
Yep.
known you for so long, and it's just like when I see you at a con, we stop and we gotta show love to each other because that's what it is. And I just see that all the time. Like there's so many friends that I reach out to that have helped me and that help me take my skills to another level, but there's a deeper relationship as well. So, I know we're pushing a half hour in, and usually I'm in and out in a half hour. Anyone that's on, leave any comments or questions on the bottom. You can, Adam, I put your Twitter name there. Go follow him. Man, thank you very much for taking time out and I'm wearing red. It's Bloody Monday. It's Bloody Monday. I'm ready to work and kill it today. Any
Right
questions from
on.
you to me, man? I know I've been just asking and firing questions your way, brother.
You still doing the symbolic execution stuff?
No, no, no. I got another project that I'm working on that I'm hoping to get it approved for open source. It is really cool. It the cool thing, it hasn't been done, but it's not a new approach to that area, to finding vulnerabilities, right? But
Okay.
where it's at, it's a new approach. It's like it's groundbreaking. So I'm looking forward to. I'm actually finishing up a few things with the white paper, and doing some really cool stuff, and I'm working with some cool people, and it's a crazy time. So I'm trying to take advantage of people that are working from home, and I've already, like, for this week and next week, I already have people that are gonna join the live stream, and I think it's a good time to do this, and I plan to do this until shelter's out of place. And I'm just hoping that no
That's a
one.
big
Yeah, yeah, it's big because I'm committing to 30 more days, right? But
at
I've been,
least.
I had a question from someone, and they were like, what do you want to do with this? And I'm like, mm, I haven't thought of it. I'm actually having a lot of fun doing this, and I'm connecting with my friends like you, like Virus, Stefan, that was on yesterday, and really having fun, having a conversation like we would have a conversation over the phone. And to me,
Yeah.
sharing some of that to the people, I always say it's not about how many people view it. Yesterday we had like 500 views. This one's going to have is trending towards the same way, but it's not. It to me, the views don't matter. What
It's
matters
not
to
for
me,
them.
yeah, it's not about views and making money. It's about helping one person that needs it. I remember when I first, went to DEF CON, Dre, that he was on here earlier, he was the first person I met. He helped me tremendously. And I would always say, if I could help someone, that's all I care about. So if you do have questions for me, DM me as well as Adam. I'm sure he'll, answer any questions you have. And sir, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I definitely want to go over there and hang out with you for a weekend at that hacker house, because I know it will be epic, sir. So
Yeah,
thank you, and I
for
appreciate you
sure.
so much for even taking your time out and joining. So much love, brother. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a special guest, and Wednesday we have a special guest. Thursday is training, and Friday we have the mentee on. So I'm excited. It's going to be a jam packed
Nice.
week. Thank you, brother.
Cool. Check you later.
All right.